at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the walls. The chair is against the walls. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
What?
Yeah, it's happening this fast. So the first person on the Gun Channel side to tell us where that intro music or introduction comes from is going to win something. And welcome to our daily gun show. We come to you live every day at noon Eastern. That's 9 a.m. Pacific for about an hour each day. We do 3 gun-related topics each day. We do different topics throughout the week. We run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over on gunchannels.com, where anybody who's already listening might be winning valuable prizes. I just got back from SARS show, so maybe I'm giving away nothing. Maybe I'm giving away something awesome. The people over on Gun Channels who answer that question will find out. So let's see. We've got guests. 3 of us are here today. We got Bob jumping in from Canada. Thanks for joining. Hey,
glad to be here.
Got Jimmy jumping in from Phoenix. Thanks for joining.
Hey, thanks. Good to be here.
Hey, we're special. We're guests today, Jimmy.
I feel guestly.
Yeah, you've been demoted from host. So, and then I'm also a guest from Tucson. And Pink Panther won it. It is the radio announcement from Red Dawn. And right on. Thanks, Pink, for joining us on the Gun Channel side. So we run this on YouTube only because we like to make YouTube our bitch, and we use their services and their functionality, but we put it over on Gun Channels where we have actually people that we care about normally, but somebody stole our audience this morning. We don't have anybody watching. So we'll YouTube our bitch, and we use their services and their functionality, but we put it over on Gun Channels where we have actually people that we care about. All right, so I reiterated that.
I think it was worth saying twice. Yeah, definitely.
We lost our notes. Somebody, Dano or Bob, came in during the weekend, or actually last week, destroyed all our notes, probably trying to take out the show, cause chaos. I don't know what his problem is, but we're going to wing it anyway. We're going to plow through. Normally on Monday, we would talk about things like what we're going to talk about this week. So let's do that first. I'm going to beat an old dog because he has to make noise right now. Hey, hey. Got all 24 hours of the day. Well, 23 hours of the day to drink. This is the 1 hour that he decides to do his drinking. All right, well, I guess you're all going to have to deal with that because he ain't listening to me. On Mondays, we talk about what we're going to talk about this week. And if I can get the thing to open up here, we need Second Amendment issues. We need entertainment issues or topics. We need CCW topics. Hold on. All right, I think I yelled loud enough this time that he quit drinking. So where were we at? We need CCW topics. We need gun tech topics. We need gun biz topics, gun stuff, basically the whole thing. Good idea, bad idea, alt gun topics. If we get none, we'll make them up and you'll suffer and have to listen to what we're talking about. Normally, though, we would talk about that. So we'll let the audience start spinning on that if they want to contribute. Otherwise, we'll get into the break. We usually feature members over at Gun Channels during the between the first and second segment of the show each day. And we don't have anybody in the list today, so I figured I'd just go over to Gun Channels and pop open the admin over here, which is where we administer the site. And we have a managed members over here. And let's take a look. We got 4,900 members of Gun Channels. We're at 5,800, so that means about 1,000 people have come and gone. And there's still 5,000 people who either didn't cancel their account on the way out or that are still checking it out. So we have potentially 5,000 people that might see a post if you post it over there. Looks like we have people joining as recently as yesterday. And we have the original ones. Looks like started in December 15th of 2003. We built the thing in November and worked on it for a bit. Looks like I was the first 2 accounts. DB Cooper is our second member. Marco is member number 4. Got a Guru, the guy that helped build it, is member number 5. So DB and Marco got in before the guy who was helping me build it. Edge from Friday nights is member number 7. Cork is member number 8. Yankee Marshall is member number 9. Stone Guy was member number 10. Every Second Matters I created an account for is member number 11. Tactical Six String, who doesn't hang out here anymore. He might be dead. It's Cello. He's back east. He's a motorcycle guy, and he likes guitars. Thus, the Six String. He was member number 13. Ballistic Expansion was member number 14. He was a kid who came in. Remember Ballistic, Bob, when he first came in?
Yeah.
He was like 18 or 16 or something even, and he was like, I'm going to be an FFL, and I'm going to be an SOT, and I don't need to be 21, and I'm going to have machine guns and silencers and stuff. He was pretty gung-ho. It was pretty cool. Then, where did I put this? Then we've got some guy is 15, then some guy in Sandy is 16, and then if we go on to 492, we've got Good Guy with a Gun was member number 17. Member number 18 left. Never Enough Ammo is member number 19. I don't know who 22 is. PBR Street Gang. Remember that guy? The guy with the Jar Jar Binks logo? Hung out in Match Chat for a long time and then just died, disappeared completely. Probably died, fell in a hole or something. Flath, 25. Number 25 is Flath, another Canadian. The better Canadian. We call him the good Canadian. We call Bad Bob the other one. 27 was Z, our co-host of the show. He also left. Never been back. The Dude was number 28. Somebody else was 29. Looks like Robbie was number 31. Some girl was number 33. There's gaps here because when people leave, they take their member number with them. So like we don't have a member 35 because that person, quit. They left they took their account and left. Fatty with a Firearm was number 36. Kisan was number 37. Remember that guy? He used to be really active for a bit, and then just
he used to be a big AR guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was like the Dead Horse before there was Dead Horse. He was making a PSA AR every couple of days. Pink Panthers, member number 47. Took him a little while. Then he definitely made himself feel at home. Definitely helped create Gun Channels into what it is today by hosting the lobby chats for a good length of I'd say a good 25% of the time we've been around. Pink's been responsible for keeping the conversation going. I'd say if there's members that single-handedly changed Gun Channels, Pink's right at the top of that list. We got Wesley, number 58, another massively active member, and then completely left us. Foos, number 65. Dano's number 67. Guns 111, the guy that was doing a bunch of YouTube stuff and then joined Gun Channels, supported it for a year, really, really well, and then left completely. Hosh, friend from California, 73. Guy who stabbed Bob a million times with a Sharpie marker.
Yep.
Let's go up to 100. So let's see who else we got in here. Anybody remember Great Laker, Ohio, Warthog, number 92, Paleface. These are people that, when I'm saying their names, I remember them, but they haven't been around for so long, they might as well be dead to us now. Corey W., and then some other people. So Malevolent Burritos in there. Ghost Town was number 107. And we'll quit reading them now. So that's the first 100 or so members over at Gun Channels. And yeah, been pretty neat. I think we had our anniversary a while back here. All right. Yeah, Rick's American Life, or Rick's Life as I see it, if the chat is there but blank, that just means you got logged out. The server will, log everybody out every once in a while if they're doing some kind of an update or something. All right. So thanks for Angry for the topic here. We got concealed purses and fanny packs. He probably chose that because Heavy's always bugging him about it. So we'll put that in under CCW.
Yeah, Heavy's a big purse guy.
Yeah, and the fanny packs, but he wears his fanny pack like a purse, like over his shoulder. Hypo number is, dude, Hypo Drake. I don't know if I can search that easily. Let me see if I can. Did I just close that? No. Yeah, I just closed that window though. So no, I'm not in that anymore. But we could definitely do a thing like what's my number at some point when I've got it all open again. All right, so I guess that was the segment between the first and second where we feature a member on Gun Channels. Once we get back into the list here, we've got actual people, but I think it might have been kind of neat to just go through and talk about some of those early people that are either still around or are dead to us. Then we'll move into, I don't remember what the second segment is. Oh, how to use social media. What do we want to learn how to use today? Why don't we just explore what it's like to set up the gun show, the daily gun show every week? Because I'm doing that right now as we speak anyway. I'm multitasking. So we have a spreadsheet that we use to track everything, and this is a recreation of how Bob came in, just took a big chunk and then went delete, like screw them, I don't care about their efforts. Didn't have the courtesy to say Control Z, get it all back again. We just deleted it and walked away.
I did not.
To recreate a reenactment of how it happened. So now we know how it happened. All right, so then I get the spreadsheet going, or Jimmy or Bob or whoever's doing the spreadsheet. Usually Jimmy and I will create the spreadsheet, like say Bob will delete spreadsheet. Then we go over to YouTube, stupid YouTube, and open up the live streaming, go down to the events one. Let's see what happens when you click on that. Little button comes up over here that says create new live event. We click on that. And there's a certain amount of boilerplate that comes into your video. You decide that under channel over here. One of the options is, what's it called? Upload defaults. So when you do that upload defaults, you're going to choose what's going to show up whenever you start a new video. So that's what's populating here. It says Daily Gun Show up here, so I don't have to take that time to write it. It's got a couple of tags already, but the most important thing is down here. It's got basically some boilerplate so that we don't have to type everything from scratch. So this will probably be a Tuesday show. So I'll go ahead and delete the Monday little chunk, and I'll delete the Wednesday through Friday chunk here. And then we're left with our Tuesday topics, our daily stuff, and then some stuff that we like to link to every day. So the Patreon channel and the Gun Channels channel. So then I'll go over to the spreadsheet and I'll figure out what next Tuesday is, 462. And was it this one? Yep, I'll go over here and type in a number 462 so I can keep track of it. Right number in there, 462. I would do that all over the place. And then I would go in here and tell it it's going to be next Tuesday, so the 12th. And for whatever glitch, you always have to tell YouTube twice. Then they figure it out. Then I'll put in 10 a.m. for the start time because it's at 10 a.m. here in Tucson. And then the end time. Then I would go in and go to the spreadsheet normally and whatever next Tuesday's topics are. So I'll take the Second Amendment topic and put it in right here. I'll go over and find whatever else we got. State of the state, Delaware. Stupid little state. Do we even have any members from Delaware? Seems like a waste of time state to me, but
Do people live there?
I don't know. So far, I've only seen it from the highway, so I'm not an expert, but I don't like the state. Then got the gun of the day and things, and I don't know if we ever have any. Bob does the gun of the day, like he hasn't even done today's gun of the day, if you'll notice, because he got too busy figuring out what lines he wants to delete out of the spreadsheet next. But never had that. But sometimes we have things like what the hell? We don't have a gun shop. All the days we don't have a gun shop, that's the one day. So normally I would grab the gun shop from over here, and then sometimes we have a movie, depending on if people have suggested some for us or whatever. And then the other things on the schedule, we fill all that in over here and give it some tags, go over here, give it a little preview. Usually my preview is just the link to Gun Channels. The way I figure that is this little box goes out to Google Plus and Twitter, both of which I could care less about. So never go to Google Plus at all, and only go to Twitter if something's broken to fix it, so I never have to go to Twitter. And all I really care about is cramming links over there. You know, they're just a place to put links as far as I'm concerned. So we're just dropping links to Gun Channels because that's all we care about linking to. When we're all done, though, we'll have a fairly populated, itinerary, whatever you want to call it, show schedule here. And then you just click create, and then it goes into a list. And if we were to go back over here and act like we're just going in to look at what live videos are there, you see today's, but normally you'd understand there'd be a big stack of them here. Once I finish each of these, there'll be like a week's worth of videos here. So when about 5 minutes before the show, we can come in, we can click on start live hangout, which will give us this room that we're actually in, the hangout room, which I keep over on this other monitor. And then it'll give us the actual show, which is over here. So that's a little nutshell of how we schedule out the show. And we've talked about it before. And if you ever have any questions, join us over on Gun Channels. We'll be more than happy to explain processes like this. It's all about individuals getting their message out, not just big established media companies that have the resources and the experience to get data out to the world. That's what the new media is. So be part of it or just be an audience, and then you might as well. Whatever. So then we'll get to one of the other topics, or do we want to go into events right away? I guess I should just quit showing them our secrets.
Do we have a gun shop lined up for today?
We did. Got deleted.
The Daily Gun Saboteur.
Well,
Couldn't
we'll
have been me. I only just rolled out of bed like a minute before I got on the show. So
Yeah, this was deleted last Friday. So I'm not saying you did it today. We know you did it last Friday. So we'll talk about the gun show up in Phoenix I was just at. And Jimmy was there and Angry was there and Heavy was there too. So it's a show that happens on the first weekend of each December. It's the Crossroads of the West's largest gun show. They're the promoter. They do gun shows in California, Arizona, Utah, Nevada. I think Utah, maybe Nevada, and I don't remember anymore. But they have quite a few shows. They're a large promoter, and this is their largest show each year. In coordination with it or conjunction with it, you have the Small Arms Review magazine. That's a magazine that comes out a couple of times a year. They have a huge building there. Actually, I think I added it all up yesterday, and it came out to 5 acres or 4 acres. So really just a portion compared to the big Tulsa gun show. But Bob, you've been to both. I think the mix at SAR is more appealing to me for sure. It's way more heavy. Well, obviously the SAR building is all into tripod mounted, belt fed, anti-aircraft, inert ordnance, live ordnance, everything awesome and fun and flashy and big, where the rest of the gun show is just a much more, what would you call, like, well-rounded gun show. The Tulsa show is much more collectors and hunting guns and fancy engraved stuff and old.
yeah, I like the SAR show better. It's actually I found that over the weekend I could actually see most of the SAR show.
Exactly. You got 3 days for SAR, which is only 4 acres, and you got 2 days for Tulsa, which is 11 acres. Ultimately, no sense, and that's one of the reasons why Oklahoma can never be as good as Arizona, because of their crazy gun show procedures. But and you're right. The having 3 days, you can, you don't have to try to do it all in one day. And if you forget something, you don't have just 1 day to recoup. You can go there on Friday, get a feel for it, see the rest of it on Saturday, still have an entire whole day to just mosey. And then you still have that half a day if you need to get some actual buying accomplished, and you're doing that, in the middle of the show and not having to do all your reconnaissance first and then try to do all your buying at the last few hours when stuff might be gone or they have already set prices and they're not budging. There's a lot more, I think, more fun to have at a show as far as bargaining and having options when you can buy in the middle of the show or at the beginning of the show. Not necessarily, you can't really bargain really much at the beginning, but in the middle you can start bargaining usually.
But definitely, yeah, it's a lot more manageable as far as just pure size.
It's Jimmy's second year. What'd you think of the show?
I don't know if it got better than last year, but I feel like it did. I don't know, man. It's endless. You feel like you walk the whole show, and then you go back to where you started from, or start over again. Like I had the wife and nephew come by, so I went back and started like showing them the beginning of the show, and I swear I missed stuff. So I mean, I liked it.
Now, how do you explain that Heavy went to this show and we got there at what, 9:30? It opens at 9, or you guys got there at 9:30 or maybe 10, but got there basically at the beginning of the show, right, on Saturday.
Yeah.
You had the entire show. At 3 o'clock, you guys are like, okay, I'm out. I'm tapping out. It's too much for me. And then Heavy never went to the SAR building. How do you explain that? How do you justify that?
Heavy never went to the SAR building?
Never went into the SAR building.
That's borderline disrespectful to the show. Like I can't believe that, honestly. That's insane. Yeah, he missed out on that.
Angry? How do you explain this? It's your first show, but come on.
Yeah, I think me and Angry walked in there twice, and then I walked in there once by myself, and then I walked in there again with the family.
So now I finally found some pictures. We can take a couple of pictures of the show, and we'll call this our gun shop. Well, I think we're already calling it the gun shop today. So these are some pictures of Roman's table, a friend of mine. Here's Martin's table, another friend of mine. Back to Roman's table. He's from Florida. Got some neat stuff from Arizona Firearms, a company that is here in Arizona. She does a radio show, and a couple does a radio show, and then very much into activism. More Martin stuff. Well,
Yeah, I stopped by Martin's table. It was pretty cool. But what was you said Roman was the guy with all the ordnance?
yeah, he's from Florida.
Seeing them little helicopters that he made in person, like those are pretty awesome, man.
Well, he doesn't make them. I'm sure some slave in China makes those, but they're.
Well, no, I'm just saying, seeing it in person though was pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're neat. This is the building like on Friday before it was. No, wait, Thursday. This is Thursday. Before it's even open and stuff. I took some pictures of the vehicles. So there's sometimes static displays and stuff, but was just cool. Look at this quite class A douchebag. 4 spots. So you can push this little thing out and like, put his fat ass on like some kind of lazy boy while he watches TV. 4 spots. 4. And what do you think about parking there? There's plenty. Just go ahead and take 4 spots, guy. Quantum.
Yeah. We can afford it. Don't worry. It's not like everyone's gonna park in this lot. Go ahead.
Now this guy took 2. I did the same thing. You can't help it when you have long wheelbase. When you have a standard wheelbase, not the shortened, lesser wheelbases of regular vehicles, then you have to take 2. That's because they don't make parking spots with us in mind. So this guy's okay. But I thought this.
So I'm looking at that white truck though, and I feel like he still had another foot or 2. He probably could have inched up a little bit.
This guy? No, he intentionally didn't try to pull up with this one, I suspect, because he wanted to make it clear that he's taken both of these 2 spots. Otherwise, what people do is they come up and hit you in the bumper.
Oh, yeah, and then just meh and walk away.
Oh, yeah, that's actually exactly what happened to that one guy. No, but this...
They got push bumpers.
If you try to get it and you're just taking like a foot of that spot, then some jerk will come in and not realize that you're only taking a foot, or that you are taking a foot out of his, and he'll hit you. So I usually do the same thing. If I'm going to take both, I'll kind of park in the middle so it's fairly obvious. Plus, we're taller, so you can kind of see us there. But mainly I took pictures of this one, so I like the color. For some reason, I like that color. And then this thing. That's some kind of a neat flip-down mast, I'm thinking. There, you can tell me where the van is? You see where it is? So this truck left, and we were trying to get Jimmy's wife to park there, but they didn't let her in over here. But anyway, so this part was empty for a while. I'm sitting here filming a video. Oh, wait, this was the day before. There was a car here the day I was there, the day I'm talking about. Anyway, this car had left, and there was a spot there. Some jerk in a cop car comes flying around, slams into this parking spot, hits the truck in front of him, like his kid. It's him and his kid in the car, jerk and his little kid in the car. The kid looks at the dad like, oh, what happened? The dad looks at the little kid, little jerk junior, and just shrugs his shoulders. They get out of the car. The dad looks up front, shrugs his shoulders again, walks off. And that would have been great, because if I had my dash cam going, if that guy would have hit me, he would have had all of that on my dash cam. Anyway,
that's what they make bumpers for.
Yeah, his kid's like, Dad. And he's like, that's what they make push bars and bumpers for. And then they leave the parking space and just walk away casually. Let's see if I have a picture. I don't. But and then instead of going to the big ass sign that says entrance, where like the tons of people are walking towards, they come over here, take a left, and go into the hockey arena, and then come out and follow all the people into the show. Oh, I probably can't show every picture because I'll start showing secrets. So let me censor these. You can see this picture.
That was a good one. Solid pick.
There's a picture of Bob's Love, a Dodge van next to a sign that says gun show. How am I going to do this? Maybe I shouldn't do this, because there's going to be all kinds of... Oh, here we go. So I think Heavy and Angry decided to go eat at like one of those Dynamats. You remember?
I guess you weren't supposed to talk about that.
Censorship. You know what a Dynamat is? I think that's what they're called. Like where you'd put a quarter into like a a PO box, and then like you could get a piece of cake. Is that what those things were called, Bob? Or like you'd put in like a nickel into like a little mailbox thing, and then a little door. It'd open up the door, and you'd have like a sandwich in there, or like
they're Dynamats. Yeah.
So
like a vending machine.
Food no more than a week.
Oh no! Like remember like in the 40s. Let me just go use the internet to our advantage here.
Actually, they still have them in China and Japan.
No, that Dynamat looks like some kind of automotive matting.
Yeah. Try cake vending machine.
Dynamart, maybe.
Dynamart?
Dynamart.
Because I've seen them type of things in like hospitals before, where they got the little doors that swing open and stuff.
The old people in the chat is going to know what we're talking about, and they'll tell us.
Yeah, well, I know what they're like. They still have them in China, except they're way fancier.
Maybe we'll have some old people or someone from China in the chat to help us out.
What the hell are those things called? The coin. Automat.
Like the 44?
No, everything's sold. Hold on. There we go. So you don't remember pictures like this from like the olden days? You'd have like a wall of little mailboxes, and you go up, you stick a quarter into each one, and then you get like everything on a little plate. And there was always like a sad lady or like a big fat guy like this in the movie eating out of that place. I guess it's whenever they started like institutionalized what do you call them, skyscrapers or whatever, like where they had to like get people fed quick. I don't know what they're for. How big a thing were these, Bob? These were everywhere, weren't they?
Well, every big city, yeah.
Like it was a way to feed a bunch of people. Anyway, that's where Abby and me went to. Me and Jimmy didn't. So we went to this place called India Oven, which is a giant, like our buffet Indian place. And every one of these soupy goopy things like a different kind of flavor.
Good though.
Then
we had vegan cupcakes and cookies for dessert.
Oh, that's just wrong. Vegan cupcakes.
Let's see. Oh, then here's our $17 breakfast. Broken yolk.
Yeah.
Shaped menu and their crazy prices. It's for fancy people. Is this Scottsdale? Maybe we went to Scottsdale. We didn't realize it. So here's my chocolate cakes. This was $17. Does that look like $17 to you?
No, see, that was $12. But if you get a cup of coffee, then it's $17.
Yeah. There's Angry's Monte Cristo made out of fried, what is that called? French toast. I don't understand this though. What's the point of this? I don't know what that is. Jelly?
I don't know. I seen him put the jelly on top of the bread, and I don't know. Maybe that's a Pennsylvania thing.
I figured he was crazy. Yeah, I just thought maybe there was something in his coffee or something. I don't know. The coffee was also sugary, like super sweet. And this was $17?
12.
Nice. And then that's Angry's, what do they call this thing? The John Wayne.
Yeah, John Wayne breakfast or something like that.
Oh,
so here's
who's the poor guy who had to ride with Angry after all those beans?
So here's a healthy tip for the day. Always order after a Marine, because everybody else ordered their food like suckers. And then Heavy goes along. He's like, I'm going to get the John Wayne omelet, which is some kind of omelet with chili and cheese on top of it. And then he's like, hash brown, or what do you say? Whatever these potatoes are called. And he's like, but put onions and cheese on them. Boom. No cost. Even at a $17 for pancakes breakfast place. No cost. And yeah, that makes potatoes like a billion times better. Putting a bunch of cheese and whatnot on them. So.
And the worst part about it was that I think he paid less for the breakfast that he got versus those little pancakes that I got.
Yeah, seriously. And what, they put a banana on there. You can get a banana anywhere for like a nickel.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was pro tip of the day. Always order your food after a Marine. So they always know how to order good. All right, and there's the amount of chocolate chips. $17 with chocolate chips. So now here at the fairgrounds, I climbed up the bleachers for like watching the horse races or whatever, and took a couple of pictures. So you can see Phoenix in the background. It's deceptive. That's like a million miles away. But just my awesome camera, I guess. It's actually like, what, about 4 miles to downtown? When we did the rally, it was in this building right here, which is the state capitol. And we were kind of over here. The vegan bakery is like right here where these trees are. So it's really close to the fairgrounds. That's why I go there all the time. This is the green building. So that's one of the big buildings. Behind it is a blue building. The tents here are as big as a lot of gun shows. There's an orange building back here. You can barely see the roof of it. And then this huge building, which was the first picture. You don't even see the whole big building. This is only half of the big building. So that's the regular gun show. And then, of course, all the parking. Then as I come along here, this is the SAR building. And this is still 9 a.m. Saturday. So we don't have a lot of vehicles yet. There'll be more vehicles as the day goes on. And then here's some of the vehicles. And they're just out there. There's like static displays. You can take a look at them or what.
Oh, they had a Unimog. That was their
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz, yeah.
I got a better picture the day before, so I don't have a good picture here because the guy was standing there. Didn't want it to be weird. I think this is my favorite. This one, that other tan one. This is kind of neat. Bunch of metal signs and advertisements and stuff. Don't always see stuff like that, but sometimes you do. This is in the main building, so this is the east end of the big building. You can hardly tell, but there's a door right here, big garage door. There's another one, and then there's a building even bigger than this that it's adjacent to. This is Sherry, our friends. I asked her a year ago when I seen her at a show in Tucson if she had a copy of December of 2010 Small Arms Review magazine. And I was walking by and she flagged me down and said, "Hey, I got that magazine." So it's cool. It's a cool magazine that's got an article with Bill Wooden, the guy who has the Wooden Labs, the largest private collection of ammunition. And I had a chance to go check that out a few times, and I really wanted to get that article, get the issue with that article in it. And thanks, Sherry. That's the whole point of these kind of shows, is being able to go to places where people remember you, right? And can do stuff like that. This has always been one of my favorite bayonet displays. This guy's been doing it for a while. I see him at all the shows, and he keeps his bayonets upright as opposed to laying them on the table. Not only is it smart, he gets way more bayonets on the table, but it's just super impressive. I love that display. Got a couple of pictures of it there. He's got some longer bayonets up on the rack there like you'd have swords. And speaking of swords, there's some probably bringbacks. Some other neat stuff. Alan Corwin was there. Not my best friend, but I always like to support him. He's been an activist for a long time. He's an author and a publisher. You've probably seen some of his books in gun shops. The Gun Saves Lives is a campaign he did a while back, years ago, where he put these billboards up that say "Gun Saves Lives," and he had different sayings on them. And the city sued him. No, wait, the city pulled him down, and then he sued the city. So he's an activist and putting his time and money where his mouth is. This is the guy that I bought the underwater AK ammo from one time. He had the underwater AK ammo. I didn't look to see if he still has any, but figure I'd take a picture of that table. It's an interesting display to see the old boxes of ammo. AZCDL, of course, super important. They have two different displays at the show. This was Bob's last SAR show. That sucks. He's going out of business. He's retiring.
Yeah, that's shitty.
And there's some little tiny dogs. Couldn't get a good picture because those little tiny dogs run around so much. Just a picture of some leather because there's definitely some single action stuff there. Tactical Medic is our friends up in Mesa. They are, they were some of the guys from Cav Arms, and now they do Tactical Medical, or the Tactical Medic, and not only medical stuff, but hard to find, like interesting medical stuff. They buy surplus. They have sources to get really cool stuff and decent prices, online sales. They have a store in Mesa, and active in the community shooters. They host classes and stuff, so I wanted to be sure to catch them. They also have pretty cool morale patches and stuff. I should probably now quit showing them because there'll be pictures of some of the stuff we got at for the perks, which is what I'm going through. This was kind of neat. I don't know why, but I couldn't quit looking at this thing. It's, I guess, driftwood, maybe? Or else,
I looked at driftwood.
But I thought that thing was super cool. It's way too expensive. I don't have a place to put it. But if you had like one of them big cabins or something, I think that thing would be cool, huh?
Put it in the roof of the van.
No, but anyway, I thought that thing was kind of cool. You see people at shows that have non-gun stuff. This stuff doesn't bother me too bad. You know, this is the kind of thing that might keep your wife or girlfriend at least semi-interested in what's going on, and it's not doesn't stink. That's the main thing. I don't like walking past weird beef jerky that stinks weird, or stupid candles and perfume that gag you. Oh, okay. Here's another douche nozzle. So got this picture here. That's picture heavy, and then we got this guy. So he's like, I need 3 spots. So I couldn't convince the guys. I really wanted to fold up his stupid ass ramps and then park here. Tell him like, hey guy, thanks for taking up 3 freaking spots. And there's handicap parking. Here's the other thing. There's like there's rows and rows and rows of handicap parking, but I guess he didn't want to take up 3 handicap spots. He's like, I got my little scooter. I'll take 3 spots back in the regular parking lot.
Well, he probably didn't have a actual handicap sticker. He was just lazy and had a cart.
That's a good point. You know what? Let's zoom in on that license plate. You're right. Oh, you know what? Look at this.
Air gunner.
Definitely not handicap. Here's your log.
Yeah, that's a cool. That's what I'm want to try pick up. One of them turn it into a camper.
I'm scared of the prices or the parts. You seem to think you can get parts no problem.
Oh yeah.
I'm skeptic.
Yeah, you just pick up a couple of them. They're so cheap up here.
The one thing that was lacking this time that I was frustrated is there's a lot of ammo cans. There's some ammo cans. There wasn't anybody with pallets and pallets of ammo cans. This was probably the most bulk ammo cans I saw, but none of the like large plastic containers, like those things I bring to gun shows, like big, I don't know, just multi-use cargo things that are military grade. I was kind of hoping to find those. I always like to find those at a big gun show when they don't want to take them home and you get, potential for good prices on them. So that was the only thing I think the show was really lacking. Oh, and then this is the green building. Just another picture to kind of show the scale of it. And this is, I've talked about before, where you can go to the gun show sometimes and there's a guy, he has like a box like you'd have comic books in or magazines, but instead of being books, it's little Ziploc bags that are Saturday Night Specials and Berettas and like Romes and all these little cheap guns, Taurus Eye and whatnot that are, I don't know, maybe crime guns or buybacks or something, but instead of just destroying them completely, they chop the receiver and kill them and then take all the parts, the springs, the rods, the mags, the trigger pieces, and all the stuff that ain't a gun and drop it into a Ziploc and sell it for like $8. And it's a really cool source for if you're trying to put back together a little Saturday Night Special or a little Ring of Fire gun or something, or just like a Bauer or something that it's hard to find parts. Sometimes you can buy a bag of, an old gun's whole parts, and that way you've got kind of preemptive spare parts if you ever need them. Anyway, that guy normally has a pretty big section kind of over here out of the frame, and he wasn't there. So that's like the second thing that I'd say we were kind of lacking this year. Well, this guy was an author, had a little corner of a table. Figured I'd take a picture since that's kind of neat. He's an Arizona author. Picture of some of the stuff out of the SAR building. Then I did a series on taking some pictures of bumper stickers and things. Thought that might be neat. Just out in the parking lot. And let's not show everything in here. The Big Sandy machine gun shoot was repping there. So they had a table like this with a video going of the shenanigans out at the shoot. I found out that Small Arms Review, the place that does the magazine, is the publisher of the Machine Gun Inventors coloring book. So they also have the Machine Guns of World War I coloring book and the Machine Guns of World War II coloring book. So that's kind of cool. So if you need them, you get them from Small Arms Review, the publisher up there. Oh, here's a neat series. This is a pretty cool table. That one's upside down. This one is some of the Macs. I don't think I've ever seen a Mac with a woodstock. And this company will buy collections from guys who die or sell their collections off and then redistribute them. So they're keeping transferables in circulation, basically. And a lot of times if no one knows what to do with a machine gun collection, they just either turn it over or kill it, which could be is horrible, really, because there's only so many transferable guns. And to have some idiot inherit them and not know what to do, and that's why we have attrition, because that happens. So these guys are out there trying to battle that by getting out there and purchasing collections and then redistributing the transferables. So they had a pretty neat collection there. Do you know what this is? Is this just a battery backup? This thing here with the USB wire sticking out of it?
Isn't that the alarm?
An alarm, huh? Nope. It's kind of an alarm. So we'll let people ponder on what that square metal box might just be there. It just looks like a square metal box. That's all it looks like. The USB port on it. Then this was a little neat. I don't know, it's a little Spanish gun, I think. A little suppressor on it. It's awesome. Plus, oh no, it does go through the center. I was thinking it came through the top. Then a operational briefcase. These are always cool, especially with Macs in them instead of stupid HKs. Look how much better it is with a Mac in there. It just worked that way. Plus the can. Look at that little short can. Love that thing. Plus it's like actually used. It's like it's all beat up and used from probably being in all kinds of operations.
I was upset since you're in the SAR building real quick. I was upset somebody bought that the Terminator minigun out from under me.
Oh man, just as you're about to buy it, they foosed you.
Yeah, I had my wallet out and he's like, "Oh yeah, somebody already bought that." Damn it.
Did you tell him Did you tell him you know Edge? That's just a box of 50 blanks. That was a neat picture. What is this?
Machine gun?
Oh, come on. You can't tell what that machine gun is by looking at it?
Maxim, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So that's what that box is. This is the machine gun from RoboCop 2. The little kid has a little boombox gun. This is it. They're $16,500, and that one guy just stuck a USB port on one. But this company has had them at the show for a long time. They've had them for a long time. But yeah, transferable little 9mm subgun. Really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
Posted this the other day, and it is some kind of a battery for some kind of crazy thing on Martin's table. I just thought it looked cool. Weird nonsense writing on it and whatnot. Then we got this table of stuff that, man, I really wanted to buy stuff. I don't know why I like ordnance so much. It just looks neat, right? So I wanted to buy this thing, this like thing at 20s. I just thought they looked cool. But then I started to look at it, and it's this one basically twice, the purple one twice. This one and this one are the same one, just painted different colors. There's one of these and one of these, but basically they wanted $50 for it, and I thought that was probably more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, more like $30. So not even, because you're getting some doubles. I'd rather have, if it was all separate, I would almost considered it, but figured for doubling up, I successfully did not buy them. All right, and now we're done. That's me and my dog. So that's the SAR show. Happens every year on the first weekend of December in Phoenix. Pretty simple to get to. Consider checking it out sometime if you like gun shows.
Yeah, well worth it for sure.
Bowling ball mortars, yeah, that wouldn't. You can buy them at the SAR show for sure, but those are available all over the place. You can make them out of. They make them out of oxygen tanks. Not an oxygen tank for a bowling ball, but whatever the hell, bigger. Maybe a bigger set might work.
Yes, acetylene tanks usually, I think.
All right, so that was our gun shop for the day. Kind of call it the gun show of the day, and we can move on to probably what should have been events or gun of the day.
Yeah, the gun of the day that's in there. Let's see, what would it be? Oh, yeah, the Enfield #2 Mark I revolver. 38 Smith & Wesson top break. Yeah, basically your typical Enfield style revolver. Horrible caliber. 38 Smith & Wesson is just the most anemic caliber in the world, I think, compared next to a 25 ACP. And the trigger pull. Okay.
It was black powder.
Originally, it was designed for black powder, but yeah.
They were trying to make a small cartridge with black powder, and it's like incredibly difficult because they can't get enough black powder in there to make it worthwhile, right?
Right. And even when they went to smokeless, it still had no power. It was
And
like 700 feet per second.
Like way too wide short, so they can't get enough pressure behind it or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
The gap in the cylinder, the barrel, you know, it would just lose so much. You know, it maybe be better on a pistol or something.
I doubt it. Yeah, it was just a terrible round. But these pistols were god awful. They used to be, the only advantage with them was they were really cheap up here. You could get them for, you know, like $100. They were like our Makarovs. So you could buy these things for dirt cheap, but mostly they were the tanker version, which had the bobbed hammer. And so they're double action only. And the trigger pulls, I swear, were like 20-pound trigger pulls. And gritty and just, oh, God, they were horrible guns. But yeah, they were cheap and they were fun to shoot. Because, you know, you'd break them open, they'd spit all the rounds out. But yeah, if they had just been 38 special, they would have been a decent gun. You probably could have dealt with, you know, making a better trigger pull on it and fooling around with them like that. But yeah, that round was just like it I swear to God, I had trouble shooting through a tin can, you know.
What do you think was so smooth?
Now that's kind of neat. I like the little snubby, but
It looks like they did a pretty good job getting that sight back on there too.
yeah. Like I say, if they
No.
made it 455 Weatherby, like 455 Webley, I mean, that would have been a decent little pistol.
Could have been a bigger frame though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't a very big gun.
I mean, they weren't little either. Probably
No.
a regular hand with it, so it's not tiny or nothing.
Yeah, they
So now, even being an older gun, if it was snubby like that, it'd be illegal out there, huh?
Yeah, unless you owned it before they changed the laws. The last couple of videos I put out, we kind of talk a bit about when they changed those laws.
But you, even if you have it from a long time ago and you now have it, no one can take it from you. You can't inherit it down.
Well, you can once, yeah.
But then you've inherited a short rifle, a short barrel, then you have to destroy it then?
Or if it's something you can sell in the States, you can sell it in the States. But of course, with your import laws, it has to be a gun that was manufactured there.
No, we can get stuff from England. We can't.
I'm not sure whether I can bring Walthers down or not. I'll have to check that out.
All right. Well, that's our gun thing. Bob features new gun, and that was it today. So now we'll get screen share going, and we'll start talking about the upcoming events over on Gun Channels. We have a place anybody who's a member can go up here to resources and then the firearms calendar and add an event. And got some stuff coming up on the main page here that shows us the next couple items coming up. Got an antique knife and gun show in Vegas. That'll be the weekend before SHOT Show. Then of course SHOT Show is coming up next month. Got the outdoor retailer also in January, which is in Salt Lake City, and that's like, I think it's in Salt Lake City. That's a lot of skiing and snow type of stuff on the out in the winter one. They do 3 of these a year now, and they'll be, you know, different seasons, so they'll concentrate on different outdoor sports, whatever you want to call it, outdoor recreational activities. Then you got the Great American Outdoor Show. That's like a week-long event up in Pennsylvania. The Connecticut Citizens Defense League, Cycle Camp posts some of their events in here. Which everyone's encouraged to post their state level stuff like that. You never know when someone's traveling or someone might be new to the site or just sees it and, you know, happens to be from that state. And of course, on the back end, it's always good to have links to these events that need coverage or need help getting coverage. We've got the Big Sandy Machine Gun coming up, the Big Sandy Machine Gun Shoot coming up in March. There's another cartridge show that I keep putting in here because I'd like to attend one of these eventually. We got the Wanamaker Show, the big gun show in Tulsa. Sounds like a lot of Gun Channels people are going to be attending this one next year. That'll be in April. And then USCCA has an event up in, I think, Minnesota. They call it the CC, whatever, the Concealed Carry Expo. And that's also in April. And then you got the NRA meeting down in Dallas in May, which a bunch of people should be attending as well. If you've got events you want to put into the calendar, feel free. We like to feature them every Monday. Wednesday? What the hell is that? Wednesday? No, Monday. And we'll be happy to promote any event you put in there.
Tuesday?
Men's Day. That should be a new day.
Now you're mansplaining the days to us, and I don't like it.
That's true. Sorry to mansplain. All right, so that's that. Next, we have, what do we have left? History of the day?
Yeah.
1861, today in 1861, Queen Victoria forbids the export of gunpowder, firearms, and all materials for their production. So, go from, looking through, not really that many. Let's see, 1952, the Grumman XS-2F1 makes its first flight. I don't know which one that is, though. 1991, the last American hostages in Lebanon were released. That must have coincided with Reagan being... No, that wasn't Reagan. I was going to say that was the... Which hostages were those when Reagan was elected, like 2 minutes?
Those are the ones that Iran had.
Iranian, okay. And then we'll see if anybody who's famous was born today, and doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. No, so not a big day in history. So we do like to feature days in anything that was historic on a day. If you know something, feel free to let us know at our email, dailygunshow@gmail.com, and we'll include it in our look back every day. Go and look at the comments here a little bit. Guns of the Queen. Yep. Let's see. People commenting along on the gun channel side. Good to see people over there today. Thanks for that. I got some people over on the YouTube side as well. Got like 21 viewers, 9 thumbs up. Not a great ratio, but it's an indication our show sucks. We'll keep working at it. I think we're about done. We're trying to wing it today with having no actual items in the schedule. I think we covered it pretty good. We didn't do a movie today. Anybody remember what the movie was going to be? I certainly don't.
No.
Anybody seen any movies this weekend?
I've been binge watching Firefly again.
All right, that's a cool one. It's kind of like a space western, eh?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I didn't remember how much it was like an actual western.
I like it. It was a cool show. You're talking binge watching, so I'm guessing you mean the series. There's a movie also, which kind of summarizes the series, but not really. So it's cool how you can watch the movie and the series. They don't really overlap, but at the same time, if you don't have time to watch the whole series or you're not sure, watch the movie. And if you like the movie, you're probably going to like the series, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm waiting to watch the movie after I finish the series. So.
And then I think I heard that they're going to do an animated sequel or an animated next movie. So they can keep the same voices and not have to worry about the actors being 1,000 years older.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, hey, Raphael out in the gun channel side says, born this day, 1912, Pappy Bollington, American trained fighter pilot ace.
Awesome. Yeah, Baba Black Sheep.
Yeah, ran the Black Sheep Squadron.
Corsair, some of the coolest planes ever. Fold up wings. What do they call that when they drop the wings on a Corsair? That like, there's a name for that where the wings drop down and then go out. Besides just being ultimately badass.
Yeah, they were just folding wings so it fit more of them on an aircraft carrier.
You know what I'm talking about, how they kind of jog down?
Yeah, they rotated.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when they're out.
Oh, you mean they had gull wing.
Is that what that's called? Here we go.
Yeah, they were gull wing. And that was to get clearance for the propeller. Because the propeller was so big, if it didn't have that little jog to raise
that would push the wheels down basically, so that the fuselage would stay up off the ground for that giant propeller on that massive motor.
Yeah,
things are like the muscle cars of planes too. When you see them in person, they just look like a plane like this. But when you see them in person, they just look like an engine with a little cockpit behind it and some guns.
Awesome. Oh yeah, like they almost look like an air racer. That cockpit sat so far back.
Seriously, yeah, they look like a hot rod. So how many of them like were kept after the war? I got to assume if somebody was able to have the means to buy a plane after the war, I mean, this would be the one to buy, right? This could be maintained by a regular crew.
Yeah, they were about $1,500 to $5,000 to buy one.
Crazy.
Yeah, brand new. That's 0 hours. But the Corsairs, they actually flew all the way into Korea. Mm-hmm. That was one of the airplanes they kept, eh?
Yeah, like an A-10. It was difficult to knock them out, right? So they
Yep.
just
Yeah, the Army, of course, kept the Mustang, which was much easier to knock down. I don't know why they didn't keep the P-47 instead for ground attack, but I guess they had more Mustangs or something.
all right. Well, we could shitting on our Air Force, and we'll leave it on the Corsair and Pappy Boynton. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the show Black Sheep Squadron, you are missing out. It is a super cool show. It's like the A-Team and MacGyver and a World War II movie all mixed together.
Yeah, one of the cool things, Pappy Bollington actually was the old guy, and he drank a lot. And he used to actually use rubber bands to hold his joystick, like not joystick, his control stick in the kind of in the center. And he would have a nap in his airplane on the way to missions because he knew that he had all these young guys around him to keep an eye out for enemy aircraft. So he didn't worry about the fact that, he was sleeping. He knew he'd wake up as soon as somebody yelled over the radio.
And that's where Bob got the inspiration to just fall asleep in the middle of the podcast because he knows we're taking care of it.
There you go.
All right, so we did not miss the Tactical Pop Quiz. It happened at the beginning of the show, and it was just for the Gun Channels people, and Pink won it. So you can't just fart around and assume that the Tactical Pop Quiz is going to happen sometime at your leisure.
It's random.
So that's our episode 456. Tomorrow we'll be back with episode 457. We'll talk about Second Amendment issues, which we'll have to come up with ourselves since nobody gave us any suggestions for it. We'll have our wild card topic of today. Maybe we'll have an interview with somebody. Who knows? And then we have our state of the state. We're going in order that the states we visited during the Gun Show Loophole Tour. After Pennsylvania, we snuck into New York and then poked into the New York just a little bit to see that castle. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. And all of our daily stuff. Let's see, today is Monday. So after this, I'm sure the lobby's already going since it was going before. I think Ponry said it'll last till 5. Which take us into most of the primetime stuff. I think HVS, Hawaii Volcano Squad does his show around that time. Matt does his geeky nerd chat after that. And tomorrow, Early Watch will start up and take you into noon when we start this one.
Well, on that note, we should end this with our quote.
Right on time.
Which is up there. Oh, gee, look at the gun and the quote were there in the notes. I don't know. You guys been slacking off, but my stuff was.
Everything was deleted except Bob's stuff.
Yeah, amazing.
That's just because I didn't put mine in during the show. So anyway, we'd like to end our show on a quote. Today's quote is by Theodore Roosevelt. But before that, I want to remind everybody, please like, share, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. And if you can find it in your hearts and your pocketbook, support us on Patreon. Keep the show going. So with that, we'll just do our quote here. And like I say, Theodore Roosevelt, my favorite president. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. So utilize that when we're talking about fighting these ridiculous gun laws. Believe we can do it, and we're halfway to having it done. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
What? The show's almost over. Everybody left.
How can you do that?
It's happening. It's happening right now. So if somebody can tell us who provided the radio for the question that we had earlier in the show, first person on the Gun Channel side to tell us who provided that radio that they were listening to.
Oh.
Are we looking for real names or movie names?
Oh, come on. We have to get the clock going. Thought this would be easier. Look how many people are on the Gun Channel site. Look how many of them are green. It was not John Z. No.
It was not Red Dawn.
His grandpa, Dead Horse, won it. Come on. Let's keep it good, people. Dead Horse is the only one on the ball out there. So Dead Horse will send you a link as soon as the show's over. So I don't have it up here right now. But yeah, it was the grandpa of the girls who brought the radio, who had the radio going when they played.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam.
But we're not starting the show. We're ending it. We'll see y'all next tomorrow.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.